Good morning. On behalf of the Lake Champlain Water School, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2026. I want to extend a special welcome to our esteemed guests today, the graduating class and their families, board members, faculty and staff, and community members. It is truly a privilege to gather together to recognize this extraordinary class. I want to honor our guests in turn. I want to honor this day, and I want to honor this group of individuals. First, to our faculty and staff who have poured their inspiration, energy, and heart into these graduates. The fruits of your dedication are manifest today in who these 11 individuals are and all they will bring out into the world. May you rest easy, knowing that your work will ripple out in the world as these graduates and the graduates before them and the graduates after them take what they have learned here in this place and bring it out far and wide in the world. To our board members and founding families, we extend endless gratitude for all you have done to bring this school, this education, and all that it seeks to cultivate in its students and in the world into fruition. So many have poured so much into this place so that we can exist and grow and thrive and change, so that we can hold steadfast to who we are and innovate and change to meet these astounding students that come through our doors. To our extended community members, you remind us of what we know so well, that the ties of this community are long and deep and true, that we are creating something together that matters and that lasts a lifetime and more. To the families of our graduates, our gratitude knows no bounds for the privilege of getting to educate these 11 individuals and for the support you have shown them at our school. And finally, to the graduates, to the class of 2026, today marks a milestone moment in your lives as you cross over this threshold. I welcome you today with such pride for the individuals that you are, gratitude for all that you have brought to our school, and deep joy that the world gets to receive your gifts as you venture out, pursue your passions, your dreams, your purpose. High school commencement is a threshold that you cross over, and there is a before and an after. It's a juncture that we mark with ceremony, with pomp and circumstance, because frankly, it matters. You have all worked so hard. You have given so much to this place. You have grown in heart and mind. You are a class that has led our school with joy, with connection, and with ease. You are a class that has interacted kindly with younger students. You have encouraged them. You have supported them. You have cheered for them. You have been accessible. You have been present because that is who you are. You are connected. You are authentic. You are advocates. You are kind. You are strong. You have given us so much by being here, by leading by example. And we are so grateful that each and every one of you found a path to this school. And your paths took different forms. 5 of you started at LCWS in pre-kindergarten 14 or 15 years ago. And some of you came in 10th grade. Yet you are a united, unified group of individuals. You are connected and you are extraordinary. So in closing, I will say to the class of 2026, you have left a lasting mark on the Lake Champlain Water School. You are woven into our story. We honor you, not just today, but every day, as authentic, engaged human beings who have so much to offer the world. It has been a privilege to have you at our school, and I hope that you always come back. I know I say this a lot, but please know you have a home here. We will be cheering you on from here as you go out and do what you are meant to do in the world. The words of the song that we just sang have been on my mind and heart so much lately. For all these blessings, I lift my voice in gratitude for the bounty of the garden, the forest, and the trees, and for these working hands in the fields and at the heart, that we may live another day with beauty in our hearts. We most certainly lift our voices in gratitude for all that this class is and all they hold within them. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Thank you all for being here. And it's my pleasure to welcome Isabel Calvi from our junior class to speak about
Fun. I'm so excited to introduce you to our graduating 12th grade class. My freshman year, all of our classes were basically combined. We had most of our main lessons together, even some track classes. And I feel like I really started to get to know them well on the honesty trip. There were various challenges, weird things happened, and people started to open up, and I got to know them better. Like cooking weird dinners, and someone was always like losing their mind, cutting some vegetable, and I think these special moments start to bring our classes together, and we got to know people's humor, their personality, their funny take on some random things. And through all those experiences that have continued on for the past few years, I look back on that and he's done a few things that really stand out to me about this class and the things that make them as they are unique that they are. I think a real strength that has gotten them all here is how they know how to get through something hard together and with some humor. For example, producing the play that goes wrong, we had to pull together all the props, make the whole set, and make sure everyone memorized their lines in time, make everything work together. And even when someone was doing something else, their favorite thing, they had this attitude of they were committed, they wanted to do it for the group, and they would bring their own humor to get through it. I think their range of skills and ideas also really makes them strong. I love every English class discussion. We get to have real debates because people bring their different ideas, their different past experiences, and we learn a bit from each other. Someone always has some interesting tidbit to share in whatever context. And I think that those range of strengths makes them really versatile and capable group. And beyond whatever little disagreement they might have, they really do show up for each other. I think even if they're like goofing off or freaking about some test or something, underneath that, they're really aware of each other and how the other people are doing. They'll notice if someone's down, check in, see if they can do anything. If driving them out to play volleyball is help, this what will help, they'll do that. And I really appreciate that too. So in summary, I think they're really funny, capable of a caring class. They have different strengths, personalities, ideas, and they can disagree without falling apart. They can work things out, let things go when needed. And I think they have a really strong sense of community. I feel really grateful that I've been able to go through high school with this amazing class, and I know that they're so wonderful and aware and strong, and that they're totally ready for this college thing, even if it feels terrifying. And I'm so excited to see what we'll do up there.
Morning. This mic. We wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that this class had another member named Eleanor Margaret Lehman, who passed away on May 7th of this year. Eleanor was a deeply analytical person, and she contributed to the intellectual life of this class in so many ways. She remains to be the only student that's ever written me a paper for fun. She loved what she loved with such passion and this almost evangelistic attitude. And she would teach us, regardless of what we wanted to learn, she would teach us about constructed languages like Toki Kona, the history of the Anabaptists, the writings of Sigmund Freud, Lord. And aside from discussing her passions, Eleanor loved a kind of music called sacred harp music, also called shape note music. And we sing this music occasionally in school, and the seniors decided that they wanted to sing the following song in Millbrook in honor of Eleanor, or want to sing Millbrook.
My first impression of Mr. McDonald was from my babysitter, Masley Bender. She said, he's not what you think of as a Walter teacher at first, but after knowing him for just a short bit of time, you realize how much he recognizes every student. Your first impression of Mr. McDonald might be when he rolls up in a Mercedes, full shades, and could see on a basket. But once you see him help the next guy up, you'll start to see all his other skills. Mr. McDonald truly embodies the Walter values: compassion, kindness, and caring for individuals as a whole.
Mr. McDonald joined our class in 2018 at the beginning of our fifth grade year. He was replacing our old movement teacher, Mr. Mossbon Bargevani, who had been with us since first grade. At first, we were a little apprehensive. We weren't sure about this new guy or where he came from, but we all loved movement, so we decided to give him a shot. Once he gave us chaplains and a license to wrestle in class, though, we happily embraced him.
Mr. McDonald showed up for our class in countless ways during the last 8 years. In sixth or eighth grade, we got the honor of having him as our class sponsor. This involved weekly class meetings with him, where he would check in with us, play games, and bring oranges, and, if we were lucky, popsicles themselves. In high school, we transitioned to only having him for movement classes, but by no means were these the only times we saw him. To me, it seemed like every lunch, I would see him preparing for his next class, while also taking time to check in on all of our class. He would ask how we were doing, what our weekend plans were, and how the class was doing on home. An unofficial class sponsor.
Aside from the pentathlon, Mike and I got to know him on a more personal level this year during the countless hours we spent together on the Kimberly trip. To preface, Mike and I had been hearing about this trip since middle school, but never really thought we were going to be able to experience it. There had never been enough kids in high school for a team, and Mr. McDonald was always busy coaching middle school basketball teams, running cross country, and every other sport at our school. Then, in our senior year, despite still not really having enough people, Mr. McDonald made it happen. This in the summer before senior year, despite still. In the summer before senior year, we fully wanted to start a basketball team, and even if we didn't have any games, we'd still have a gym to practice in a couple of times. At our first practice, though, he surprised us with the news that we would in fact be going to. He didn't know all the details yet, or quite how it would work, but he wanted us to have the experience and spend countless hours of his time organizing things from uniforms and capabilities to how we would be allowed to play in the tournament, just 7 high school fields. Luckily, we managed to recruit Fiona and Ella, who turned out to be valuable during the trip. This trip was really the perfect encapsulation of who he is. Someone who is fiercely competitive, but never stops thinking about others. He made sure we did everything we could to win, but never at the expense of the experience of any individual.
Kieran and I have always felt like we've known Mr. McDonald well, but never knew his full life story. After trying and failing to stalk him on the internet, we reached out to him to hear a little bit more about his life before coming to the relationship that involved him. Mr. McDonald was born in Philmont, New York, where he went to the Hawthorne Valley Volleyball School until 5th grade. He then moved to Beverly, Massachusetts, where he attended Cape Ann Waller School for 6th grade. He transitioned to the local public high school in Salem so he could play basketball, a love which he continued at Salem State University. Before playing at Salem State, he moved to LA for a year, where he coached the high school team to the LA City Championship. After that year, he moved back to Salem, where he played college basketball until he got injured as a pitcher. In this time, he discovered spatial dynamics and began teaching at the Cape Ann Waller School. He fell in love with teaching and transitioned to becoming a full-time teacher.
In 2010, Mr. McDonald moved to Vermont, where he taught part-time at the Orchard Valley Local School. He also attended Burlington College and graduated with a degree in transpersonal psychology. He continued to learn spatial dynamics and is now working on completing the level 3 course, which is quite an accomplishment, allowing him to teach spatial dynamics to other teachers. After graduating from Burlington College, he started working full-time at the Lake Champlain.
Mr. McDonald's life has not been linear, but through his passion for basketball and sports, he has been able to continue doing what he loves and helping his students to appreciate it. Throughout his life, he has taken many paths and had many great experiences. This is something we want to hold with us in the next phase of our lives. The ability to balance hard work and fun, all while continuing to learn more about ourselves. Please give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker today, Mr.
Good morning, everybody. I am so happy and honored for the opportunity to speak today. I've had the joy and privilege to teach this great class for the past 8 years. As you have heard, this remarkable class of terrific students, and more importantly, amazing people. Advice often given to young adults is to invest for the future. It continues the importance of investing early and learning the power of compounding. Indeed, this is sound financial advice. Not surprising, however, today I'm going to share other ways one can invest for the future. Specifically, by not focusing on the future, but rather through being present to the moment. I'm inspired to speak today about what I've observed being with these graduates. I will share the qualities of these graduates that bring confidence in their continued future success. Also, as it's a Walter's graduation, I may sprinkle in a little story. One of my favorite quotes from the Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, says, "The best way to take care of the future is to stay the present, take care of the present moment." To stay present is such a simple idea, yet it can be very challenging. My understanding of what the quote points us to is that no matter what the emotion or thought is about the future, the one thing, perhaps the only thing we can control, is how we treat the present. And I would add, the present moment is where the substance of life occurs. How we treat it is how we are living, while also having a direct impact on our future. I've observed these graduates succeed in living fully and mindfully. They've shown they are already benefiting from the compounding of well-lived experiences, practice values, and qualities. including fostering relationships, true connections that will continue to serve them. I've seen our graduates be able to embrace opportunities that come their way. I've observed these graduates take initiative and trust their intuition. I've witnessed them be able to transform their approach to better serve themselves and others. I've observed them overcome challenges and open up and lean into what they're capable of. Importantly, all along the way, I've watched them working together. It has been a joy to observe as their past successful lives have already begun unfolding. The pursuit of knowledge and overall achievement in this class is very high, from academics, athletics, social justice. In all aspects, these students are highly motivated and focused. Clearly, they're taking care of the moment in pursuit of their goals. What makes this class special, along with their personal passion for the best, is their focus on others. I constantly observe students helping one another, from giving volleyball tips to using their own free time at recess to help a friend with their homework. Students in this class are very aware of their surroundings, always noticing and taking the time and care to help a friend or even a younger student. Helping others while pursuing one best is certainly a way to invest in the future. Through being present, these graduates have shown the capability of seeing the big picture and then successfully narrowing down to what's important. I've personally experienced this when a student shared, "Mr. McDonald, it's not that I don't like you personally, I just really don't like this game." I've observed in movement class students looking for a teammate that has not yet received the ball, then making a pass that the receiver can feel comfortable receiving. This shows the ability to enjoy competition while not losing the greater picture of what they truly value. Dear graduates, this ability to keep in mind what is important and act on it will be a great gift to you and others around you in the future. The future, or as I think of it, your destiny, can come quickly and in ways you may not always feel comfortable or entirely ready for. I hope you can see these challenges as opportunities. For example, in a classic game of kickball, imagine you're in the outfield thinking, perhaps you're far enough that no, the ball won't come your way. You won't need to worry about it. Then a well-kicked ball all of a sudden is flying nearly out of sight, but back right down to you. With everyone watching, there are different ways to handle this opportunity. 1, run away. 2, freeze up or duck. There's one more option that I've seen our new graduates do, and that is to let yourself be drawn to the ball, open up, and embrace the opportunity and catch it. I've seen students in countless ways rise up to these opportunities, sometimes with the outcome they want, other times not. But most importantly, embracing the opportunity. This ability to see, face opportunity will continue to serve you in some of the most important ways. Now, at times in life, opportunities don't just fall from the sky. You need to make certain actions to help bring them your way. Intuition and having the courage to follow it is something that I've observed in our ball games. I've observed you all learn to be drawn and run to an open spot in the field to receive the pass. Through practice and trusting their instincts, they found a place that the ball has not yet gone to. But by moving, they open the door of opportunity and often drew the ball to them. The opposite of this would be being stagnant and wondering, maybe complaining, and perhaps even taking it personally that life's possibilities aren't coming your way. This movement and intuition and initiative you all have demonstrated will continue to help bring opportunities to you. Stay moving, stay open to possibilities. Now, as magical as life can feel at times, there are definitely other moments that can feel stacked up against you. So you move to a spot. You may or may not be open, and the ball does not come. This can feel disappointing and disheartening. What you may not realize in the moment Your action was still important. It helped another player get open for a pass, and undoubtedly, this initiative will help you find an opportunity soon. Your effort was not a waste. It was an important contribution. This might be one of the more overlooked aspects of games and importantly life. Are often narrow, hyper-focused on the end result, misses the important actions of everyone that leads to success. All successful people will help, and you will benefit from being assisted as well. When you take action to the benefit of others, almost always helps yourself. Your sincere efforts create an opportunity for a teammate. This is such a gift to others and in return to you in your pursuit of a meaningful life. It might be the quality I see in you all that is the most important to celebrate and remember. You can always look to serve others, and that is an excellent way to invest in the future. Let's talk about when we have to choose our opportunities. We all know that there are times that come when something arrives or enters the life that may not be right for you, a job offering at the right moment, or a relationship that is not right for anyone at any moment. There are also times when multiple amazing opportunities arrive at the same time. When opportunities come, and being still, taking care of the moment, you will see different choices and possibilities. The right choice will come, and you made some of these decisions as recently as we pass the next year. Also, at times, what serves a person in the past may not be what is needed in the present. Through re-examining, one can find a new approach. At one point, ducking from the ball may have been the best option for your well-being. Later, you found that by staying open, you're in better control of the situation. And you choose to be open and catching. I observed these graduates to have this ability to transform their approach and relationship to a situation. Through realization, courage, and work, I encourage you all to remember this capacity as it will be important in your continued development into your full potential. There's one more even trickier moment that can occur. That is when an opportunity arrives and you have this feeling that it's not for you. But with further examination, it's actually a preconceived notion that is hindering your progress. For a simple example, it's raining outside. Mr. McDonald's there, you don't want to go outside and play. Once in the rain, the joy of friends and play, you found enjoyment or rewarding, and you overcame the idea you had created before the experience arrived. Here's where a short story called The Jacket fits in. There was a person a little older than you all, about 24, who was fortunate enough to receive $500 from a great aunt who had passed away. This was a no strings attached $500. They immediately looked at what they could possibly buy. They found a really nice jacket. They thought they would look pretty cool in it, and maybe others would think so too. They were also fortunate to have parents who noticed they were reading a book by Thich Nhat Hanh and showed them that he was holding a retreat later that summer for $500. So the cool jacket or stretch themselves at a retreat where they would be silent for 90% of the day and sit in meditation for hours. One option was somewhat exciting and fun with a chance for quick gratification. One that was intimidating and highly questionable as the fun weeks on vacation. Although there was a feeling that going to the retreat was not for them, they felt a draw or a pull towards the opportunity of substance over a quick material object. For many of you, I don't think that would have been a hard decision. For this person, there was some hesitation, but the draw was too strong to ignore. At the retreat, they ended up meeting the person who became their wife and began their journey to Vermont. With the good fortune of receiving an assist from their parents, they were given the opportunity to navigate through their preconceived notion of what was right for them. Through taking a moment, they could see clearer and follow an intuition that brought them to what helped them find their way to what seems now a perfect destination for their destiny. I've had the honor to watch the work of these graduates over the years, and through their actions and beautiful work, I'm confident they are ready. Importantly, I've observed you graduates being present to each other. This has occurred in joyful, easy moments and the most incredible hard times. You have invested in each other, building strong relationships that will always be a part of your lives. Being there for each other, for a great board game or volleyball, totally immersed in your all-important game point. One team or person wins, then the celebratory good game, high fives, and hugs, knowing that the important part was the sharing of the time together and the creation of the enjoyable moment. Today would not feel as full and rewarding if high school was an individual activity. The bond that you all have, the work you've done, learning from one another, being challenged, annoyed, hurt, accepting apologies, and offering apologies. This real work is a large part of the fruit that you will take with you today into the future. As a Waldorf teacher once told me, the strings that connect you all may get thin and stretched as you travel and meet new friends and walk down your path of destiny. But as thin as that string may get, it is always there connecting you. You are also bringing with you the knowledge and feeling that being in the moment, helping others, sharing connections is a great way to embrace all of life's possibilities and a terrific way to invest for a meaningful and joyful life. I want to thank you all again for being part of my life and enriching my journey here in Vermont. And I'm so glad our paths have met. I truly believe you have what it takes to embark on a wonderful, meaningful lives. You, dear graduates, were born with and have developed skills and capacities to embrace and flourish in today's world. You have the answers to navigate your path that you will be choosing. You were truly born for it. Thank you.
A Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the blackberry? Who made the grasshopper?
This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has bumped herself out of the grass, the one who is able to cover her head away, who moves her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who gazes around with enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her rings open, lifts away.
I do not know exactly what prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to scroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last to do? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Hello. Hello, and welcome. My name is Eli, and I have been a student at Lake Champlain Waldorf School for the past 3 years. When I came here, I was looking for a smaller community and more hands-on learning. One of the things that appeals to me most about Waldorf were its Cambridge classes. Waldorf to me was a way for me to gain back my love of learning.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ari, and I came to Waldorf from 10th grade. I came here, ironically, to find a larger community. I didn't find that, obviously, but I'm happy that I didn't, because instead I found a wonderful group of people who turned out to be so much more supportive than I ever could have imagined from anywhere else.
I understand. Hi, I'm Sam, and I came to Waldorf in 7th grade. Unlike our age, I came here as a and so I wasn't looking for any consistent. But despite this, 8-year-old me very quickly realized that there was something different about this place that I really, really liked. At Waldorf, I wasn't expecting anything but him. We're told to use our imaginations, to play, to experiment, and to understand math and art and nature. I've grown up here alongside many of these people, and I have been able to learn about who I am and how to care about what I learn. I enjoy the school because the focus here is understanding why we're living thing, being within a community, and becoming an adult who knows what matters to them and do something about it. That's why I never left. Our class has a pretty 50-50 mix of students who've been here since the beginning and the students who entered later on. In the earlier years, this class loved playing imaginary, building fairy houses, and brewing potions in sandbox. We spent the first 4 years discussing, who taught us the majority of our classes. We played games and ate Macintosh apples through Mr. Machapani worth money. We knitted lions and read Paddington with Miss Toddling, and we explored a lot of hands-on work. We went on a great farm trip. We worked with animals at the village farm. As kids, I remember doing discerning the good telling. For example, Molly and I formulated an entire imaginary world. On the way to do, and we had a portal that was in a tree that was what used to be the old independent lower school. It was complete with geographical locations and characters and backstories, and I think we added on to this game consistently for almost 5 years. After 4th grade, Miss Academy decided to move on from our class, and it became Miss Murphy from Miss Washington. From Washington. Mr. Mortani moved on as well, too much for humanity despair, but as you heard before, Mr. McDonald stepped in and has been an amazing leader. Mr. Garland is in the picture as well, and he has contributed so much to the STEM curriculum, but also mental health to many students. When the pandemic began, though, our whole middle school experience was completely thrown off. Miss Murphy supported us tremendously for us, but then had to move on at the end of 6th grade. Coming out of quarantine, Miss Hopkinson became our class teacher, and we had to navigate masks, outdoor classrooms, and 5th grade. Things were very hectic, but in high school, things started moving out again, despite everything.
When I first came to our school in 10th grade, it was clear that my new classmates went way back with each other at Samsted. Even so, it felt like I was coming into a community that was in the process of turning over a new leaf. Our class was in a unique place in high school. There was no senior class at the time, so we were kind of like the middle child. We were still underclassmen, but one of the oldest groups in the school. While we spent a lot of time with the 9th and 11th grades, we also got to grow into an independent high school class. And over the course of the year, dynamics were formed and dissolved, and old ones updated and expanded to include the new people. There was a lot to learn for me and the others, Elle, Eli, Owen, and Eleanor, who were new to Waldorf and all the sports. Thankfully, our veteran Waldorfian classmates were always happy to help. They would eagerly tell colorful tales from elementary to middle school, giving us a sense of the history of the class and what it was all about. Teachers also helped us get oriented in this strange new world. Sage specifically comes to mind as our class teacher. They help us integrate and all get to know each other with patience, grace, and humor. By next year, in 11th grade, we'd become more ingrained in our place in the school. Bo, who had been last seen in 3rd grade, rejoined our class. And we tackled whatever challenges happened to arise as a team. And many challenges arose indeed. Junior year was hard. We were faced with rising to a new high school standard, the SATs loomed large, and the dreaded college application process reared its ugly head. But our class stayed strong, even when relationships strained, as the 2nd semester dragged on and on. We reached the end of 11th grade triumphant but tired. We were relieved to have finally gotten through it, and full of both excitement and dread for what was to come the senior year. And whatever stress we happened to be feeling as juniors ended up being nothing compared to roller coaster ride. That was the first semester of 12th grade. I say it was a roller coaster, but it felt more like one of those rides where the bottom falls out and they just drop you. All of our attention was almost exclusively focused on college. Essays, Common Apps, business guides, and so much more. It was certainly daunting. We found solidarity and often commiseration as we made our way through the process together. Our trip to Hermit Island at the beginning of the year was a much needed wake-up call. There was more to life than word counts and led as a recommendation. We were reminded of how much fun we can have together, no matter what situation we're in. And once the college pressure subsided, the rest of the year, luckily, proved to be much nicer. We celebrated together as college decisions slowly rolled out and we committed to different schools. We played lots of volleyball, and the last part of 12th grade has felt like a long-awaited breath of fresh air, however bittersweet.
A couple weeks into the start of 10th grade, I transferred in. I quickly learned about all of the ways in which Waldorf was different. No one student enjoys all of the Waldorf aspects, and our class is no different. But the thing that makes our class stand out is our ability to come together through conflict. Our class as a whole is incredibly well-rounded despite being such different people. And it shows in almost everything that we do. Whether it's in crafts, math, a camping trip, or even outside during lunch, no two people will tackle the same problem the same way. One aspect that we all embody, however, is teamwork and collaboration. We all recognize our individual strengths and weaknesses, and we can make accommodations and pick up slack for others when we need help, knowing that they do the same for us when we need it. When working together, everyone is treated with equity around what they're able to contribute and what they need for the group. We don't expect our classmates to contribute in exactly the same way that we do. We expect them to do the best they can, whatever that means for them. The places where our teamwork really shines is on the trips. Somehow, the extreme cold and the sleep deprivation seems to bring the best out of us when it matters. That's not to say it doesn't cause conflict, it does. But I know that when it counts, every single person in this class has my back. On the winter camping trip specifically, I had a disagreement with May about backpacks. It was a day when we only had to carry a few items each and people were tired. Our class thought it would be best to take a big pack and put everything in that one and take turns carrying it. So the folks who needed a break could get it. May said no to this idea. I understood her reasoning. Everyone taking responsibility for their own stuff is important. But for me, working together to consolidate ways that supporting those who are more tired seemed like the best course of action. Both perspectives are equally important in different situations. But May, as the teacher, put her foot down, much to my chagrin, and we all packed up bags. Throughout the hike, though, I watched as the packs and belongings of the tiredest people were quietly handed off to others to carry for short periods of time. As a group, those who were able to have more energy were able to help those who had less. And together, we were able to care for those who needed it. And even though I still fight with May about it to this day, we also.
We want to thank all of our teachers who have stuck with this class over the years. Sage, as I mentioned before, has always kept us steady and often acted as the mother bird pushing us from the nest. Mr. Kimberly has taught us numerous varied main lessons and plays, ranging from projective geometry to poetry to sociology. He led each class, no matter how different, with his unique wisdom and has always cared deeply for us and our learning.
I would like to thank May for all the ways she has supported us like we were her own children, for caring so much for the community, organizing dances and after-school events, and for putting up with us on trips and during outdoor activities. She has helped us all individually during her trips, without else. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Garland, who gives us both a dose of reality as well as lots of time to play, both in terms of board games and.
I want to thank all of our Canberra teachers for handling such a wide range of abilities and interests. I want to thank Ms. Liniatis who brought lots of music and art to our science class in a very handsome. A parody of the doxology and shaperings about logs is seriously only something that could come on. And Mr. Kirby. While he might think there is something seriously wrong with everyone in our class, we think the same about him. He has just the right mix of silliness and top luck to get us through even the densest religion class. And thanks for sharing your burrito with me that one. In Waldorf, it doesn't matter if you came here last year or if you've been here since the beginning when you were 2 years old. We all contribute meaningfully because of our differences, and our vast amount of different school experiences only adds to the learning and community of our class.
As I'm sure everyone can already tell, the three of us alone have so much more to share when we have time for here. Our classmates certainly have even more stories and anecdotes than we do. And that's something I really value about this class. We're very talented at making memories, and we keep those memories with us as we continue to make new ones. And I've had the privilege to know that this has been true for many people here since kindergarten.
We'll always be grateful to have been learned so many of these memories, and grateful to everyone who has supported or enabled us, tolerated us at times, and challenged us when they knew we needed it, no matter how much we played along. We couldn't do without you, and we definitely couldn't do without each other. Thank you.
For New Beginnings by John O'Donoghue. In out of the way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until we're ready to open. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you build yourself on, still unable to believe what you had ever known.
They watched me play with seduction of safety, the great promises that same as whispered, and the faith for wonder, then the delight, the encouraging impulse. And up the step up the new ground, your eyes young, the energy. A path of what I think is great. When your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening, unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life of desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, hold nothing back, learn and peace, Chris. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
Right. Or, when I took this class in the fall of 2022, I had 7 students: Ellie, Molly, Laura, Stan, Kira, Micah, Al. The first thing I noticed about the group was their diligence and their respect. I often walked into a classroom, even early, to find everyone seated, quiet, ready for class. It made me very uneasy. Their behavior, right? Great. But over the course of that first year, each student began to find their voice in our little classroom, to parse texts like Gilgamesh and discuss the important handbooks of world history. In their sophomore year, as you heard, the class, Eli and Ari joined us first, both seeking a change in direction in their high school experience and hoping to find it with us. A few weeks into the year, Eli's friend Eleanor joined, just days before the Odyssey trip. Much to the chagrin of our enrollment director, students often find our school in this unpredictable way, word of mouth from teenager to another. In the 10th grade year, the class began to change, as we hear about. This quiet and diligent group began to bubble, ferment, giggle, and joke, and the reticent ninth graders I had come to know became a group known for its humor, if not still its get it done attitude. They rode again on Lake Champlain, studied philosophical approaches to literature, took inorganic chemistry, and ended the year with a camping trip studying ecosystems in a beloved bog. I've never known a group who loved a bog. By this time, Owen, another childhood friend of Ari's, had joined us to late in the year transfer. His quiet class of 7 had grown to a group of 11 in just 1 year. We had one student yet to gain. In the fall of 11th grade, Bo rejoined the class after a 7-year detour away from LCWS, and boy, we are glad both came back to us. Just in time, too, as you heard, junior year is the peak of the high school curriculum. Students study Dante, they travel to New York, they explore Chinatown, they test their limits on a winter camping expedition. The class was completed, and the group had found its identity: diligence, but fun-loving, a group with a big appetite for discussion, a group who loves to act, takes joy in play, a group who cares about its members and knows how to accomplish what needs to be done, and a group who came to trust us teachers, usually, to shepherd them through their school. So now I'll speak about each graduate individually. Please hold your applause until the end, and then you'll have a chance to appreciate all of the graduates and give them their diplomas. But starting with Sam. So hard to not be able to look at. When I first met Sam, I noticed what most teachers would probably see at first glance. I saw a detail-oriented academic, saw an artist. In her schoolwork and in her art, Sam works from one corner of the page to the other, painstakingly drawing each line or crafting each sentence slowly, deliberately, getting it right the first time. I saw her determination. As her friends and family know, Sam has spent many evenings and weekends chiseling away at main lesson books, paintings, writing essays. I saw her discipline, specifically her discipline as an athlete. Between classes and after school, you can always find Sam on the volleyball court, giving it her all. But don't let this detail-oriented, determined, disciplined exterior fool you. beneath this. Sam is a deeply goofy human being. He loves exploring, having fun, and messing around. For Sam's senior project, she explored and documented abandoned buildings in Vermont. I think this work represents Sam well, as it was detailed and exhaustive and original. I will never forget when she was asked afterwards at senior project presentation how she navigated the legal aspect of trespassing on private land to document these sites. She answered, "That I'll leave it with." Laura. On the senior trip, I had the delight of sitting with Laura in the passenger seat of a van as we drove past palm trees and vast agricultural fields. On these van rides, the majority of the students discussed what you would expect. The music that we played, our plans in California, how we looked in the photos we were taking. 2008 photos. How hungry they were. Not Laura. On our date together in the front seat, we discussed systemic oppression in mass incarceration, the visibility of migrant farm workers in industrial agriculture, the politics of tourism, and how to balance a critique of prisons and policing with the reality of human violence that happens every day. At one point, Laura lost their voice and they had to make a little paper to communicate answers without speaking. So this paper included words like yes, no, but also colonialism. Transgender. I share all this because it conveys Laura's keen, analytical intellect. They always connect the phenomena of the world back to systems and frameworks to explain it and to help guide us in our pursuit of justice. Laura is a student who gives me hope that the future may be better than the present. I am so grateful to serve as their advisor and the class sponsor. Elle. Elle joined our school in 9th grade. That year, Elle was the only new student in this tight-knit Waldorf class who came up through the grades together. And by 9th grade, most Waldorf kids have adjusted to the peculiarities of our program. We row boats on Lake Champlain, we camp in the rain, we spend long hours drawing still life in silence, we buying books far more often than the average grade buying a book. Most of this was due to Elle, but rather than balk at the task, Elle threw themselves in, literally, in the case of Lake Champlain. Elle has spent the last 4 years of their education pushing beyond their comfort zone and sometimes finding that they like this. For example, after a tremendous struggle with rowing in their 9th grade year, Elle discovered a love for rowing on the Odyssey trip next fall. And just a few weeks ago, despite hating fish and fishing and everything about fish, Elle caught perhaps more fish on her senior trip than any of the other seniors, and I have photographic evidence that they were smiling. Elle knows what they like to eat, they know what they like to read, and they know their limits, but Elle tries hard things anyways. That is the mark. Ari. Before Ari joined the group, this is why. They had quiet conversations at snack, sometimes eating at silence. As I said earlier, I left main lessons sometimes wondering, what am I doing wrong? This was no longer a problem for Ari. See, Ari is a funny guy, but more importantly, Ari is a social alchemist. That means he takes different elements and with his humor and his sensitivity, transforms them into something new. He takes hard experiences, transforms them into stories. He takes the moment, transforms it to joy. He takes people, he transforms them into friends. Before he came, the class was quiet. Now, even when he's absent, it's impossible to get him to shut up. Ari, I admonish you to use your alchemical powers for good in your next school community. It's not a problem. Bo. One of the things that makes Waldorf a community and more than a school is that students are involved in our daily operations beyond just showing up to daily classes. Students are responsible for cleaning the building. You've probably heard about that. Preparing community lunches, washing tents, tarps after trips, stowing them away. But Bo takes this level of responsibility to another level. During his time at Waldorf, Bo has gone above and beyond 10 minutes of cleaning 4 days a week. Bo has painted our walls. Bo has repaired our desks. Bo has spent countless hours in the kitchen and even helped fix a few faculty cars. On our senior trip, a chandelier fell from the ceiling of one of our Airbnbs. You can ask me that story anytime. But Bo didn't walk away. Bo sprang to action, devising a plan to safely detach it. Although we did end up calling an electrician because it was not our house. Bo is a helper with a strong work ethic. He's a friend to many across social lines. Bo is the kind of person you want around when things don't go the way they plan. Thank you for giving the gift of yourself back to our community. Bo. Bye. When I sat down to write these, I called up an image in my mind, each student when I met them. Some were harder to remember than others. Micah was the easiest. When Micah was in the 9th grade, he wore the same hat and often the same sweatshirt almost every day. Close your eyes and picture this. The hat was navy, it had a wide orange stripe and a navy top. So freshman Micah, the hat, stuck close to his friends at school and always asked me to approve his papers before the deadline. Freshman Micah was a kind, sensitive young man and aspiring athlete, dearly loved his friends and family. When I look at Micah today, I don't see a boy in a navy hat, but rather one of the arguably most fashionable students in the upper school. When I look at Micah today, I don't see someone who sticks to one friend, but rather a confident friend to many, forger of new social connections within our school and beyond the walls of our school. I see a confident student who turns in his work without leave, usually. Over the last 4 years, I've watched Micah grow into the adult version of who he always was. Kind, sensitive, confident young man and devoted athlete, dearly loves his friends, family, takes joy in all that life is. Kieran. It is always gratifying to watch students grow up. Some reinvent themselves, cutting and dyeing their hair, taking on new names and nicknames. Others try mask after mask, searching for the one that fits. But some just become themselves, unfolding into the person that they have always been. I think Kieran's high school tenure was like this. Kieran became who he already was, a practical person, tireless in his work and his play, surprising, unhinged, silly side. Start with the practical. So though Kieran is a devoted and curious student, he has never been one for extra work. Kieran cooks with little waste, using each ingredient and budgeting every minute of his time for homework, online courses, sports, or something else that he wants. Tireless. Kieran is tireless in his work and play. One of the first things I noticed about Kieran was how he could seamlessly jump from a heady dialogue about Aristotle into an all-out game of frisbee or volleyball with no transition time, and then wind up back inside, covered in mud, ready for his next class. And again, beneath this calm, professional exterior lies a silly, unloving Kieran who is equally excited, maybe, to dig into a calculus problem as he is trying to move in Japan for it over around. In the poem To Be of Use, poet Marge Piercy writes, I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck, move things forward, do what has to be done again and again. These words describe Owen so accurately, except perhaps to his own admission, part about massive patience. Owen does what has to be done, whether that is fixing a tractor on a local farm, whether that's writing a paper, troubleshooting a broken minivan door on a senior trip. Owen is almost always the first to volunteer for a task, however gross it may be, because he knows that somebody has to do it. Owen has a rare and important combination of a pure work ethic and a sense of duty to his community, his friend. And beyond this work ethic, Owen is accountable. This means he takes ownership of himself, takes responsibility for his actions. He strives to live to his own high standard. Owen makes an error, however small it is, he owns up to it. And of course, Owen balances this work ethic and this accountability with a healthy dose of silliness that has been invaluable in making this class a delightful community that is. Should have seen him strut down the Great Wall during senior fashion show. Ellie. When Ellie was in the 9th grade, Ms. Hopkinson and I took the class on a field trip to the early childhood program to build some intergenerational bonds, help the little ones watch their maple buckets. That's beautiful. Slowly, the little ones watch their maple buckets. I'll never forget seeing Ellie, who had spoken almost maybe one or two words, very, very good times that class that year, jump up in front of the children and begin an imaginative game with she was the queen. The whole afternoon, she had a troop of 5-year-olds following her around the woods. Her energy was magnetic, and she knew exactly what the kid wanted and needed. This is because, though she may not want this to be true, Ellie is the leader. Socially, in our very small high school program, Ellie has often found herself in the center of great consolation student. In theater, Ellie always holds a major role in the class play, and her performance is usually what makes the play great. And on our senior trip, the group often found itself following Ellie, regardless of wherever we were actually supposed to be headed. There is a popular quote in Waldorf schools, sometimes attributed to the psychologist Mangino. I believe it is about Ellie. It goes like this. I have come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It's my daily mood that makes the weather. I possess tremendous power to make life miserable or joyous. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis escalated or de-escalated, and a person humanized or dehumanized. Ellie, you possess tremendous power. Use it well. I have to say, it's been a lot. A lot of it. As I will be like. There it is. As I alluded to earlier, there's often an adjustment period for Waldorf transfers. Most students have not woven fabric, spun thread, felted. They're lost on arrival. Not so with Eli. When Eli joined our community, he astounded us for his proficiency for craft. And many people remarked, it was like you were here all along. In many ways, beyond his love for textiles, well, Eli's not a confident young man and voted athlete. There it is. Beyond his love for textiles. He's the ideal Waldorf student. And here is why. First, he generally trust the process. You have to trust the process, Lord. He believes his teachers have something real and important to show him, even if the way to that knowledge is raw and steep. Eli is also a natural teacher. This requires a kind of care that we hope to engender in all of our students. It's not uncommon to find Eli assistant teaching our high school classes, circulating around and guiding each individual on their project, patience, kindness, just enough humor. And Eli loves the world. His words are in our mission, and I think in large part, as those students like Eli and because of you. I've watched Eli get entranced with tide pools, bugs, leaves, thread, bells, musical notes, and most importantly, I've watched him get entranced with people. Eli knows that the world is ever enchanting, and I hope he shared that enchantment with his own students. Mom. One of the wonderful things about our school is that these students are often with us for 12 years or more, and you get to hear about who they were in their life before they came to you at a relatively late moment in high school. Molly is one such student whose reputation came before. Social diplomat, class peacekeeper, oh, my favorite, self-cleaning oven. These are all words that teachers use to describe knowledge. And I came to Vermont and become an teacher. But I'll be honest, I didn't feel I got to know Molly very well in the first few months. She didn't seem to want to do homework. Imagine that, a ninth grader not do homework. And I almost never heard from her in class. Then one day, Miss Hopkinson came into my office. She put a poster on my desk that Molly had made the previous year. She said, I want you to know what Molly is capable of. That poster is just the beginning. Over the last 4 years, Molly has shown me again and again what she is capable of. From her sci-fi story about a little mouse named Muffin, to her long-form presentation on the Rococo movement, and her stellar senior project, in which she became a published author in a scientific journal, Molly has again and again showed me and showed the world what she's capable of. It's also shown me more and more of who she is. Molly is capable, never arrogant. She's caring, not savvy. Molly is balanced. She has wielded her gift of balance for good, through the lofty peaks and scorching valleys of adolescence and high school. Thank you, Molly, and good luck. You may now applaud.
So now we're gonna present the diplomas, but in your Waldorf fashion, we have some ceremony around that. So I will present diplomas and stage will give each student a rose. And as I'm sure you all know, we begin our first grade journey with our rose ceremony, where every first grader is handed a rose. And so today, as these graduates leave our school, we will present them with their final rose. You will also notice that they are all wearing sashes. And at the moment that they graduate, which is about to happen, we will turn over those sashes and reveal on the other side are the woven in names of these graduates and the graduates that came before them. So they will literally be woven into the fabric of our school. Oh, you need to speak. You can't for sure, so. Oh, you can't. Just put it over there. I mean, Gary's in charge, but he was. Yeah, it's fine. Gary,
I mean, they are aware that there's a photo op moment and they'll be standing
It's not.
either
Yeah,
side,
excellent. Okay.
either side of the podium. They know not to be behind the.
Thank you.
They'd be great. They'd be great. And they had a very vivid reason for that.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Samantha Cadence Bradley. Elias Anderson Bunt. Eleanor Roxana Roquette Darby. Laura Teresa Dio Noble. Owen Flanagan. Molly Grace Olching. All right, Donald Lipton. Kieran Daly May. Robert Dodge Newberry. Elizabeth Olive Webster McFadden. Micah Bear Whitkin freshman. And I am so pleased to present Lake Champlain Water Schools graduating class of 2026.
Hey everyone, I'm May, the one you like talked about. I am honored to offer the words that will send our beloved seniors off into the world as the final speaker of today. I started at our school the year these students were freshmen, and I've so enjoyed watching them grow to become their beautiful, amazing, and hilarious selves. Because I planned and chaperoned many of their trip experiences, I was able to see a side of these students that we didn't often see at school. During the trips, the students had fun adventures and beautiful moments, but also faced challenges and discomforts, developed a deeper bond with each other. On their 10th grade bond trip that you've heard a little bit about because they loved it so much, Miss Linda, Sage, and I took the class across a quaking river, where they enjoyed jumping. The students had imagined a murky swamp, but what they found there instead were minute living things that they never imagined. We're so amazed how beautiful it was. During the 11th grade winter camping trip, which you've also heard about, we hiked miles through deep snow to our cabin. It really was uphill both ways. The students pumped water out of a nearly frozen creek, cooked meals, and kept us alive by tending the fire through the below zero nights. We had a lot of time for stories and laughter huddled together around the wood stove. And like Eli said, they really took care of each other. This year, as seniors, the class went to Hermit Island, Maine to study ocean zoology. At Hermit Island, we were joined by seniors from 6 other Waldorf schools. The students waded through tide pools, dissected squid, and cooked and ate them. Staying with 100 students around a big campfire, danced a contra dance, and immersed themselves in the mucky madness of a salt marsh, including a mud wrestling match. I loved going with this class on trips because they worked hard, were good cooks, and found lots of ways to laugh and make me laugh. We always give the students a packing list and then check thoroughly to make sure that they brought all the essential items to have a good trip. But ultimately, if a student chose to leave behind their quick dry pants or their sleeping pad, it was their own comfort at risk. The students learned through the years what items were essential and which ones are up to personal choice. Today, seniors, I have one last packing list for you for your next adventure. Are you ready? These are required items, you like. A good book or many good books, a cloak of courage and a belief in yourself to make it through challenging times. The word yes, which you should use for healthy opportunities. Work gloves for challenging work that also brings satisfaction. Flexibility for the thing you can count on most in life, as all of us know that are sitting on the other side here, is that things will always change. The ability to find joy, make joyful things happen. A sense of wonder in the natural world. A fishing pole and the willingness to teach others to fish. A song and a smile in your pocket to turn your day around. A 4-leaf clover because luck is what you make it. The real you, live to be yourself. The last item is a gift from your teachers, administrators, friends, and families. The gift of love. Pack this close to your heart, and it will sustain you always. Good luck, my friends, on this next adventure, and love you all so much. In a moment, we will congratulate these graduates of Lake Champlain Waldorf School. Afterward, we have cake over there, coffee. The bathrooms are over there. We thank you all for coming today and celebrating these wonderful, wonderful people. Seniors, like Emily Bearpack said, we will always be here for you. We are your home. Come back and visit us. Please welcome me congratulating the Lake Champlain Waldorf School graduating class of 2020.